What if in Fullmetal Alchemist, Edward Elric lost his body instead of Alphonse Elric? The wind howled through the dimly lit streets of a remote town on the outskirts of Central. The Elric brothers had arrived under orders from Colonel Mustang to investigate an alchemist rumored to be performing inhumane experiments. Their state alchemist titles gave them authority, but the weight of their mission was a burden all its own. Edward, still trapped in the armor that had become his existence, moved with practiced ease, his once clumsy steps now fluid after weeks of adjusting to his unnatural body. Alphonse, bearing his automail arm and leg, carried himself with silent determination, his resolve stronger than the steel that replaced his flesh. The case led them to an isolated mansion on the town's outskirts. The alchemist in question, a man named Doctor. Marlane had once been a state alchemist himself, but he had vanished years ago under suspicious circumstances. The reports spoke of missing villagers, eerie screams in the night, and strange symbols carved into stone walls. The brothers infiltrated the mansion under the cover of darkness, stepping carefully through the dust-laden hallways. Their investigation soon turned grim as they discovered a hidden laboratory beneath the estate. What they found chilled them to their cores. Human transmutation circles, crude and desperate, surrounded by the remains of failed experiments. Edward clenched his metal fists. He's been trying to create life. Alphonse approached a trembling figure in the corner, a young girl, no older than 10, shackled to the floor. Her body bore signs of transmutation scars, her skin pale from malnourishment. "Help! Me!" she whispered, eyes wide with fear. Before they could free her, a voice echoed through the chamber. "She is the key to perfection," Marlene crooned, stepping from the shadows. "You, of all people, should understand." Edward's fury ignited. "Understand? You think I'd accept this madness?" Marlene smirked. "Then let me show you what true alchemy can accomplish." With a single motion, he activated a transmutation array embedded in the floor. The room exploded with energy, and before the brothers' eyes, the girl's body began to shift, her screams merging with the inhuman wails of something monstrous. Edward and Alphonse barely had time to react as the creature lunged at them. The monstrous chimera, once a child, attacked with savage force. Edward, fueled by rage, engaged it in combat, using his armor-clad body as a shield, while Alphonse used alchemy to manipulate the environment. The battle was brutal, each attack forcing them to question whether they were fighting to save the girl or merely to put an end to her suffering. "Damn you, Marlene!" Edward roared as he dodged the creature's claws. "You turned a child into this." Marlene only laughed. "Perfection requires sacrifice." Alphonse, his expression dark, transmuted the floor beneath Marlene, sending spikes of stone shooting upward. The rogue alchemist barely evaded death, but it gave Edward an opening. With a single powerful strike, he shattered the circle, fueling the transmutation, and the monster collapsed in a heap, reverting to its original, broken form. The girl gasped one last breath before falling still. Silence filled the chamber. Edward turned to Marlene, his voice trembling. You don't deserve to live." But before he could act, soldiers burst into the laboratory. Mustang had arrived. The aftermath was a blur. Marlene was arrested, his experiments cataloged as evidence of his crimes against nature. The girl's body was taken away, but the guilt remained. Edward and Alphonse stood in the wreckage of the laboratory, their mission a success, yet their souls weighed down by the cost. Mustang placed a hand on Alphonse's shoulder. "This is the path you've chosen. The world isn't fair. You'll see worse." Edward stared at his own reflection in a cracked mirror. "How much worse?" Mustang didn't answer. In the days that followed, the brothers threw themselves deeper into their research. They uncovered whispers of the Philosopher's Stone, an artifact that ignored the laws of equivalent exchange. If it truly existed, it could be the key to restoring Edward's body. Their search led them to a name that made Mustang tense. Shu Tucker, the Sowing Life Alchemist, a man known for his expertise in biological alchemy. Edward and Alphonse exchanged a look. Their journey was far from over.